Hey everybody, this is CNF Cavazos. I just came to you today. I wanted to bring an update. I'm sure if any of you are following this, you guys have already noticed it. But it hasn't. It's in reference to the United Nations Secretary General. Um, they made a selection for the next Secretary General of the United Nations. I just want to give you a brief background. Um, Basically, a lot of people have been following the prophecies of the world, and they were thinking somehow there is a very deep seated thought chain and much evidence to back it up that Barack Hussein Obama, would be the Antichrist, the main end times end all Antichrist. Um, there's so many reasons to go into it. Just to name a few, um, he accepted a nomination in Denver Mile High Stadium. There's a white horse, um, up above the stadium. Um, he has spoken many times, including at the World Trade Center, making statements such as, reading the verses in the Bible where he says, I am God, I will be exalted among the nations. Um, he has, um, there's just so many things. Flies seem to go around him all the time. The Lord of the Flies, um, the right eye, uh, uh, Zechariah 11:17. The right eye is darkened. The one of the arms, lame arms, is of the Antichrist. After the head wound would be lame. He put he's done many things that has to do with, in town hall debates. He's spoken of head wounds, how he's gone around them, predictive programming, prayed for them, healed them. He had Corey Remsfeld, who is an Afghanistan soldier who received a head wound. His right eye was blinded. One of his arms is lame and withered. He healed. He's received the head wound, then was healed. You have the um, one of the senators from Arizona, Gabrielle Giffords, a seated authority, wounded in the head, opened the DNC 2012, recuperated from the head wound. It's all predictive programming. It's all surrounding Barack Hussein Obama. Um, there's a lot of evidence that surrounds him as being the Antichrist. Some of the things he's done in Israel, tried to preside over the peace process to divide the land of Israel, tried to depose. Um, by the way, uh, hearing Obama and Clinton complain and cry about what they are accusing Russia's involving themselves in our election when the Obama administration, specifically Obama sent people that helped him as political advisors during his election. He sent them on United States taxpayers' dollars to Israel to try to depose or not have Benjamin Netanyahu reelected. So deeply involved in the election and the Israeli process. And now they're complaining about other nations being involved in our election process. So-called accusations against Russian hackers, where they have yet to provide any proven documentation as such. There is multiple documented evidence as far as the Obama administration trying to get Benjamin Netanyahu out of office because he is against the dividing of the land of Israel. I mean, there's so much that goes on and on and on about Obama being the possible Antichrist. This has to do with the thought chain of, well, many people know Obama's administration is coming to an end now. People thought that he would go on to be the Secretary General of the United Nations. It does not look as though that is going to be one of the things that's coming out. And, this is all a time by time thing. But one thing here, of course, I want to point out is They do a rotation of the Secretary Generals based on the continents. But one thing to note here is that traditionally candidates from the permanent five members of the Security Council, China, France, Russia, the United Kingdom, and the United States, are not considered for the position of Secretary General to avoid further concentration of power within the UN. Okay, it's not a written rule, but it's just something to take into consideration. Um, so obviously, Ban Ki Moon. He is the current uh, Secretary General of the United Nations. His term lasted from January 2007 to the present date. Uh, it will end now. They have 5-year terms, which they can take 2 terms. They have selected the next Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Gutierrez from Portugal. Okay, he will be the first Secretary General from Western Europe since Kurt Waldheim. He was Prime Minister of Portugal from 1995 to 2002, and he has also been the president of the Socialist International Organization. Okay, and he was a United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. So this guy is a known Socialist Party member, and he's going to be the next Secretary General of the United Nations to take his office on January 1st of 2017. This is just a quick note on this. Um, Obviously, there are some severe concerns of what is going to happen with the United States presidential election. Um, of great concern to many citizens is one, will there be a corrupt theft of the election with regards to Hillary Clinton? Because there's so much evidence of her doing corrupt, underhanded things. It's already come out, in many different news outlets what she's done, how she's lied about, deleting the emails, bleaching them, destroying phones physically, having numerous aides receive immunity from to be punished during the security clearance vulnerabilities that she'd let take place. There's just so much corruption, so many people, a dead body, a trail of dead bodies behind the Clintons, mysterious deaths, um, just constant lies, the establishment, numerous um, evidence of the Democrats, uh, you know, having dead people vote, um, election fraud going on. It's just craziness. The Democrats pushing to not have people produce identification when they vote. Just ridiculous, ridiculous things you would think would not be sensible at all. Anyone commonsensical would know that to provide a valid ID when you're voting would be very, very reasonable request. You can't even get a pack of cigarettes at the gas station without producing ID, but yet you're going to vote for the office of the most powerful individual on the planet without an ID. It's pretty ridiculous. Um, Needless to say, many Americans feel as though the establishment, especially when you see what's going on in our election now, the establishment Republicans are against Donald Trump. You have the people that have ties to the Illuminati, the elite of our nation, such as the Bush family, Mitt Romney, McCain, some of these people that are establishment representatives in our government, people that have been there for years and years and years and years, that clearly are on board with the globalization of the United States of America, are against Trump. You have all the liberally based media. It's like a propaganda war against Trump. CNN, MSNBC, even Fox News, which has traditionally been a conservative. Well, they pretended to be a conservative news outlet for years and years. Just all of those mainstream media organizations just attacking Trump, just obvious, blatant attacks. Um, you know, the American people as a general, anyone that has sense, who loves their nation, knows that Trump is pro America and Clinton is pro globalization of America. Um, there's just such deep concerns with a valid, fair election process. Needless to say, whether it's fair or not, whether Trump wins the popular vote and loses the electoral vote or not, there are deep concerns as to what will happen. You have Alex Jones speaking about one way or another, we're going to do something if Trump loses. Um, pushing "You Are the Revolution," threatening. There are many organizations that are threatening violence. You even have a congressman saying, "If Trump loses, I'm going to grab my musket. Who's with me?" And then on the other side, I mean, Clinton. Oh, and by the way, let me finish with Trump first. Trump saying fairly, honestly, that he is not going to agree to the results of the election ahead of time. Who in their right mind would do that? I believe he should have said it in a little different way than he did. Maybe clarify the reasonings why he said that in the last presidential debate. But it's a fair thing to say that I have to see what happens on the election night before I can just blanketly say I'll accept the results. Anybody in their right mind would say that. If it's close, you might want a recount. I mean, why not? Why would the Democrats be against that when Al Gore did it with Florida? There's just so much stuff that's been unfairly leveled against Trump ahead of time. Why would you push so hard to say, well, will you accept the results? Will you accept the results prior to the election even happening, unless it's crossed your mind or you have the wherewithal to maybe create an unfair election result, whether it be through hacking the source code of voting machines, whether it be through early voting fraud. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But Trump himself said he would not necessarily accept the results of the election in the last presidential debate. Now, on the other side of the aisle, you have all of the Black Lives Matter crews that, you have Snoop Dogg, you have a lot of these higher, stars and, poorly chosen role models of the left stating that they're going to riot if Trump wins and burn down cities, just like they've done. I mean, they've literally have done that. So, you have both sides threatening possible violence at the results of the election. And then that's just within the United States. So then you have Russia. Okay. Russia is clearly being attacked by the Clinton side and the Obama, the liberal left, Democratic, and the establishment itself side. You have people like John McCain saying negative things about Russia. What will Russia do when Clinton wins? They have military assets moving around the world right now, pre-positioning themselves for the result of Clinton winning and what they know will come if that happens. Just pray for the United States. If Clinton loses in the election and the Black Lives Matter riot, there could be martial law instituted. Obama could try to stay in as president. We just need to pray. If you're not saved and you're not prepared with food and water, some ammunition and guns to protect your family if you need to, as your right as a citizen, you need to do so and get ready. But pray to Jesus for your protection first and foremost and be saved.